During our most recent Disney adventure, we had the opportunity to try the Disney Minivans. Took me long enough, right? And in today's video, I'm going to give it a full review and let you know if I think it's worth the extra cost. As an overview, the Disney Minivan service are those polka-dotted cars that you can find all around Walt Disney World and act kind of like a rideshare service. If you want to request a minivan at Walt Disney World, all you have to do is log into the Lyft app, tell the minivan where to pick you up and where you want to go, and then they will arrive a few moments later and drive you where you need to go. No matter where in Walt Disney World you want to go, whether it's from Animal Kingdom Lodge Kidani Village to the Contemporary Resort, which is quite a distance, or from the Contemporary Resort to the Magic Kingdom, do not use a minivan for that, you can just walk or take the monorail, the minivan costs the same amount, $25. Now that $25 cost is from point A to point B at Walt Disney World. As a side note, you can also order the minivan to take you to Orlando International Airport for $150 one way. I don't use it for that simply because I really do like the Magical Express and that's part of the experience for me, so I try just the standard minivans going from resort to resort or even from park to park. During our adventure, I had the opportunity to use the minivan twice. One coming back from Blizzard Beach after a super fun day, brought me back right to my resort. Another time on another day, we went from the resort to Wilderness Lodge, bright and early in the morning. I use them on these trips because the Disney buses, as nice as they are, would have required me to transfer at different locations, whether it's at Magic Kingdom or Disney Springs. I would have had to transfer to a different bus to get back to my resort, and this was just so much quicker. Now, after trying the minivan, you might be wondering, Michael, are you no longer going to be using the Disney buses and the boats and the monorails? Not at all. Disney's transportation system, it could use improvements here and there, but I think we really do have an amazing system at Walt Disney World, and I enjoy using it. It's part of the magic for me. But if you're going from a resort to another resort or another location like Blizzard Beach that would require you to transfer, the minivans are a really good option. The minivan drivers that I had were extremely friendly and super knowledgeable about Walt Disney World. As an example, one of my drivers told me about the fly bridge that's coming to the Magic Kingdom. I had totally forgotten about it. It's that separate entrance that's going to be used for those who are staying at one of the Magic Kingdom resorts so they don't have to wait in that long line in their car. Super smart, and I totally forgot about it. The cars were clean, comfortable, and they all came with a charger port for every type of phone you can imagine. Whether it's an iPhone, an Android, or even a BlackBerry, they have a plug for your phone in the car so you can recharge on the go. I also should mention that they play some quiet Disney music in the background. It is super relaxing, and when you sit inside, the AC, perfect. The minivan service runs from 6:30 in the morning all the way till past midnight. 12:30 in the morning is when it stops. There's only one little area that they're missing, and that's the opening of a brand new land. If you're thinking about going to the opening of a new land like Pandora or Toy Story Land, you want to get there bright and early, and that's not quite early enough, so you might have to go with an Uber at that point. Now, speaking of Uber or a standard non-minivan Lyft, the price can be either significantly higher or slightly higher, depending on when you're traveling. For example, when I left the resort bright and early in the morning, I think it was about 5:45 in the morning, and took the Uber to Toy Story Land, it cost me, I think, $6.70. That is a significant difference, but keep in mind, the minivan service was not available at this time, so those numbers might be a little bit off, but just something to keep in mind. $7 versus $25, that is a significant difference. But on the other occasion that I took the minivan, I took a look at the Uber app before I ordered it, and the price of an Uber would have been, I think, $10.50, maybe $11. So it's $11 versus $25. We're getting a little bit closer, not quite there, it's a little bit more expensive, but it is a little bit closer. So either significantly more expensive or slightly more expensive. So there's no doubt that the minivan service is more expensive, and you might be wondering, Michael, since it is more expensive, why even bother with this? If you want to go from resort to resort, why not just use the standard Lyft or the standard Uber? I can think of a few reasons, but the first one that comes to mind for me is safety. Safety for the Disney company is one of their highest priorities. They want to make sure that all of the guests have a fun and safe time and can come away with happy memories. They do not want someone getting hurt, falling, tripping, getting their hand stuck in something, or, God forbid, getting in a serious accident. And wherever you go on Disney property, they continue to think about that all the time. They're thinking way ahead about safety. We see it just about everywhere we go. And this continues to be seen in the minivans with the cast members who are driving. 2 hands on the wheel, totally focused, and they're going to treat you with respect as cast members. Several of my friends have brought this safety issue to my attention, and I really do think it is justified. When you go to Walt Disney World, you are totally safe with the cast members, but if you get in a stranger's car in an Uber or Lyft, that is totally separate, not related to Disney. That person is not known by the Disney company, they're not a cast member, and sometimes you can feel a little bit uncomfortable depending on the driver and the ride. I totally understand that. Now, I don't want you to think that I don't like Uber or Lyft. I really do, and 9 trips out of 10, I have loved it. There was only one where the driver was a little bit inconsiderate, but that's okay. These things happen. And when you're at Disney, I don't think it's going to be a problem either. I don't think it's a bad service. I will use it again in the future. I have no doubt. I will use the Minivan as well in the future, but it's just something to think about. How comfortable are you? Think about what is important to you, safety, security, cast members. Just think about it. So safety is one major reason. The other one that comes to mind is convenience and comfort. The Minivan drivers can drive you as close as possible to your resort room, wherever it is. For Pop Century, for me, they drove me all the way around right next to my building. It was super convenient, and along the entire way there was Disney music. It was super comfortable with the AC. No complaints, 2 thumbs up. So we know the minivans are safe, comfortable, and convenient, but the question still remains, is it worth $25? For me, the answer really comes down to 2 things. Where are you and where do you want to go, and the distance in between? Would you have to transfer on a Disney bus? And how do you feel about safety, and how do you feel about safety in an Uber or a Lyft? For me, when I'm at a water park and coming back and my resort is a little bit further away, I have no doubt that I will be using the Minivan service again. I also plan on using it when my entire family is there. I know they are absolutely going to love it. My grandmother would love the convenience, the ease, the comfort. She's a big fan of that. I have no doubt we'll be using it again in the future. But if it's a shorter distance, or if the Minivan service isn't running, opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, then I can see myself using a standard Uber or Lyft. There is another factor in my mind that I keep thinking about that I wanted to tell you about, and that's the magical feeling that I have when I'm there. When I go from Blizzard Beach to my resort, I want the magic to continue. When I get on a minivan, the magic continues, doesn't go away. If I was to get into an Uber, this happened when I go into an Uber, I have to kind of put the magic on pause for a minute, focus on what I'm doing, thinking about being in someone else's car, considering all these things, thinking about safety, and then when I get out of the car, the magic continues again. So it's just something that's on my mind. I plan on using the minivan service in the future, not every time, but many more times in the future. Now that's just my opinion. I would love to hear yours in the comments below. What do you think of the minivan service? Have you used it before? Is it one of your favorites? Do you really like the fact that they have the wheelchair accessible ones? Or maybe you've taken it to the airport before? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.